Well, I'm sure you've heard of Leche League. It's an organisation that works in over 80 countries, exists to help mothers to breastfeed. It even has status at the UN. But apparently, no longer is it just mothers who can breastfeed, according to Leche League. They have become super woke, sadly, just like some other groups in New Zealand who should know better. Let's check it out. So, according to a report on Substack by Graham Linehan, who's a comedian and the creator of the TV program Father Ted, but now he's a social commentator on the attack on women's rights, he says this: over the last few years, as gender identity ideology has become big, pressure has been placed on the Leche League and volunteer breastfeeding counsellors to change their language, to avoid saying the words woman and mother when they are talking about breastfeeding. A lot of volunteer breastfeeding counsellors in the US have wanted the organisation to stop using the words woman and mother altogether, whereas breastfeeding counsellors in other parts of the world, where gender identity ideology is not relevant, have wanted to keep using the language they have always used. Recently, the organisation decided that all communications from the Leche League International, including social media and their education articles and magazines, would use a mix of language, including mother, and language that was desexed and talked about breastfeeding parents, chest feeding, and human milk feeding. But breastfeeding counsellors all over the world have been really upset about this, as this mix of terms can be factually incorrect or confusing for people, especially when English is not their first language. Breastfeeding counsellors are concerned that even though La Leche League International are saying that mother will continue to be used, they might eventually remove mother altogether, as La Leche League USA pretty much has done. And in addition, the USA branch no longer provides mother-to-mother support, just parent-to-parent support for breastfeeding, chest feeding, and human milk feeding. On La Leche League online forums, mothers from around the world are being shamed for talking about mothers and breastfeeding and told they have to change their words. And under the current policy, if breastfeeding counsellors from outside of the US want to publish an article in the Leche League International magazine, they have to change their words, or the organisation will not publish their work. And there has been a lot of pushback from La Leche League counsellors who still believe in biology. It's come to New Zealand, and you can see here the Wellington branch of La Leche League. And it invites all breastfeeding, chest feeding, human milk feeding, and pregnant parents. Yeah, are cows and goats invited also? Here's a few other images of pronouncements made by La Leche League International and non-binary, both mums nursing, trans dad. Fortunately, mums are still breastfeeding, bottom left there. And they recently said, as the cultural understanding of gender has expanded, it is now recognised that some men are able to breastfeed. Really? And here's one from 2 years ago. Happy International Transgender Day of Visibility. La Leche League supports everyone who wants to breastfeed, chest feed, or feed their baby human milk in reaching these goals. Which is all very sad, because their important support work with mothers is being undermined by their wokeness. It makes a mockery of them. In Australia, people who chest feed are the target of a new transgender inclusive guide from the Australian Breastfeeding Association. They've spent $20,000 on a project which details how biological males who identify as female can chemically induce human milk feeding. But there's been a lot of conflict amongst the Breastfeeding Association and met resistance from women who insist the organisation must not be diverted from its mother-centred mission. Now, Oxfam has also gone down the woke slope. Yep, apparently not all people who breastfeed identify as women. For example, non-binary parents. And have you ever heard of a midwife? Yeah, I know, dumb question. We all have. It was the midwife supporting my wife through the birth of our 3 children while I was passed out on the floor. But now in New Zealand, the Midwifery Council has cancelled women. Don't mention the word woman. The Midwifery Council revised its scope of practice guidelines, and they've entirely removed the words woman and mother. They say that revising the wording has been in the making, and it's in response to strong signals about the need for a radical transformation of the health system, including midwifery. Well, radical is correct. Biologically tone deaf would be another word. Woke stupidity would be the other adjective I would use. But let's look at the changes. Here's the original, and I've circled all the mentions of the word woman, woman and her family, and also breastfeeding, not chest feeding or some other woke term. But here's the new woke version. Woman and mother has been cancelled for whānau who are planning a pregnancy, pregnant, birthing and postnatal. It's the whānau that are pregnant and giving birth now, promoting whānau health, consults with whānau feedback, varied health needs of whānau. So the focus is no longer on the pregnant woman, because remember, and this will possibly get this McBLOG episode removed from Facebook or LinkedIn, only women can get pregnant. Radical, eh? Woman has been cancelled. It's now whānau. But the Midwifery Council is not the first woke government department playing fast and furious with biological terms. Up until the 5th of April last year, the Ministry of Health understood biology. Only women give birth, immunisation for pregnant women. But that all changed on the 6th of April 2022. No longer is it pregnant women giving birth and needing immunisation. It's pregnant people. 6th of April 2022, the Ministry of Health went woke. Yep, biology has effectively left the room of the Ministry of Health. It's left the Midwifery Council, and it's now left the Leche League. But it's a worldwide media push, which has actually been going on for years. Here's Time magazine, and it talks about my brother's pregnancy and the making of a new American family. My brother's pregnancy. Yep, and this is from 2016. Time magazine has been campaigning on this for that long. Here's The Atlantic, what it's like to chest feed. And let me just read you a little extract from that article. When Trevor started chest feeding about 5 years ago, he didn't know anyone who had attempted it, nor had any of his doctors ever encountered someone who had. In fact, he was shocked that his body could even produce milk. As a trans man, someone who was assigned female at birth but has transitioned to identifying as male, he was born with the mammary glands and milk ducts required for lactation. But he'd had his breasts removed. Once he had his baby, his care providers supported his desire to nurse, but it was up to him to figure out how. Dear Trevor, woman can breastfeed. You're a woman. Therefore, you can have babies and breastfeed. It's not breaking news. But here's the interesting bit in an analysis by the magazine The Federalist, and it's entitled Why Chest Feeding Will Backfire Badly. And it's talking about this woman, McDonald, who is now Trevor McDonald. McDonald proudly became a leader for Leche League, an international non-profit that supports breastfeeding, and Leche League changed their policy to include men with lactating breasts. And they said, we recognise that any breastfeeding parent, regardless of whether they self-identify as a mother or father, should be and is now welcome to investigate Leche League leadership. There are other prerequisites that a potential leader needs to satisfy, but being a woman is not one of them. The possibilities are endless. The article starts to analyse this. The possibilities are endless when you just start making stuff up. This news is super for McDonald and her journey of self-discovery. So it's a biological female, but identifying as Trevor. The news is super for McDonald and her journey of self-discovery, but consider the anxious new mothers she will serve. Dealing with the rough seas of postpartum hormones and fragile body confidence issues, they must watch their instructor attach her child to her man chest as she eagerly instructs them in how to nurse. All of her comforting Don't worry, ladies, I'm pretty much like you. Assurances will do little to ease the awkwardness she's forcing upon them. These ladies can neither complain nor demonstrate their discomfort. They certainly couldn't roll their eyes and proclaim this is absurd. Such feelings and behaviour will be judged and denounced as raw bigotry and trans hatred. These nursing mothers will have to be published. Look, does this matter? Well, of course it does. It's what I call linguistic gymnastics. It demeans women, it demeans mothers, it cancels mums, it denies nature and biology. To say pregnant people and to deny mothers giving birth is to perpetuate a dangerous lie and deny biological reality in order to appease a radical sexual and gender ideology, a cultural Marxist ideology intent on destroying the natural family. But the truth doesn't change. Only women can give birth. Women are mothers. Men are fathers. Radical, eh? Biology tells a story, but the state seems dead set to distort that story, and we should be concerned at that direction being taken. These issues matter because they concern our understanding of fundamental human nature, who each of us are as male and female. Here's some breaking news for Leche League. Only women can get pregnant. Only women can breastfeed. That's Biology 101. Let's not cancel mothers. Let's just ignore the stupidity and wokeness of the Midwifery Council, the Ministry of Health, and Leche League for the sake of our awesome mums.